Hello and welcome to How to Build and Scale a Grant Writing Business. I'm going to give a moment for everyone to enter the room. As we're doing that, I just want you all to know that you should be able to see me and you should be able to see my shared screen, and no one should be able to chat. This is kind of a webinar format, even though we are in Zoom. So you won't be able to speak out loud, but you will be able to talk to everyone in the chat box. Okay, how's everybody doing today? I'd love to see in the chat your name and where you're from. I think a lot of you know me already. I'm Dr. Krista Kurlinkus, and I live in Norman, Oklahoma. And Dr. Julie Ann Ward is here with me, and she works with me as a grant writer full-time. And she is helping me manage the room, the chat, share links as necessary. So everyone, I want you to get to know Julie if you don't know her already. All right, so let's talk about who this training is for. This training is for writers who want to get paid to write grants for clients. So we're not talking about how to write grants. We're talking about the business side of grant writing consulting. So if that's you, you want to get paid to write grants, this training is for you. More importantly, this training is for writers who want to do more than just get paid. It's for writers who want to build a profitable grant writing business, okay? And there is a difference. Okay, so I see a lot of your names and where you're from. And now I would like to know, just really quick in one short phrase, what it is that you do currently. So are you currently working for a nonprofit? Are you in a totally different field and want to make a transition? What is your current status in terms of work, and what do you want to do? Okay, so we have Jody, a program manager at a nonprofit. Awesome experience for this. Let's see, Miranda started your own grant writing business last year. Awesome, congrats. Mary Alexander, executive director of Unique Fabrics. Okay, Mary Alexander is a GWME member. Welcome. Jane, second-year PhD student. Lauren, development director. Samantha, comms professional. We've got a lot of folks in here with a wide variety of experience. I'm super excited to share what I've learned over the past 8 years of running a grant writing consultancy. And I've had a kind of a combination of some of the types of experience that you all have. So if you don't know me, as I said at the beginning, I'm Dr. Krista Kurlinkus. I opened my grant writing consultancy in 2015, immediately after I earned my PhD in rhetoric, composition, and literacy studies from Ohio State. So if we've got any other Buckeyes in here, let me know in the chat. There's always a couple, always a couple. So I opened it right as I earned my PhD, but also I had already been a development director at a nonprofit with a medium-sized budget. It was over $1 million a year. So as I was graduating, I was doing that work and finishing up my PhD. And my PhD research was on the rhetorics of advocacy in Appalachia, which is where I'm from. Originally, I'm from West Virginia. And from that research, I got experience working with and understanding the inner workings of different types of nonprofits. And I quickly realized they needed help with their grant writing in a way that they weren't currently receiving it. So that's where I came in. I also, as a development director, realized I didn't really like the fundraising, schmoozing part of being a development director. I liked being alone in my office writing grants. And there is still relationship development that comes with being a grant writer, but not the same level as with the development director. So I was kind of figuring out what I wanted to do. And then I realized I was in a very toxic and dangerous workplace, actually physically dangerous. And I left. And that same Saturday, I decided to quit and sent back I just went in and mailed actually my keys. That's how much I didn't want to be in the office and return my stuff. I mailed my keys back and opened my business that day, signed up online for my registration with the state of Oklahoma. And here I am still doing it 8 years later. And I really want to share what I've learned in those 8 years to help you avoid some of the mistakes that I've made and have some shortcuts to get to success faster than I did. So if you are here and you want to create a business that actually builds wealth for you, your family, your clients, and any employees or contractors you hire, you are going to benefit massively from this training today. Now, while you're on, I want you, if you don't mind, if you're okay with this, if you're on social media, to take a selfie during this party, okay, I'm calling it a party, and post it to IG or Facebook with the hashtag Grant Writing Boss and tag me at Grant Writing Made Easy. We will search during this party, during this session, for the hashtag Grant Writing Boss, so make sure you have that. And we'll pick one winner to receive a special gift, an actual physical gift that we'll mail to you. And this is our little Grant Writing Boss mug. And I love having stuff like this, just merch, because, and it's not my branding, it's just the word Grant Writing Boss, so that if you're out and about and you've got your mug with you, people will be like, oh, you write grants? And they will approach you, trust me. Okay, so as you're doing that, I want to give you a second to take that selfie, or you could take a screenshot. So while you're doing that, let me just take a moment to give you something to keep in mind throughout this training, okay? So this is your boss mantra. I am my most important asset and investment. Let me repeat that part. I am my most important asset and investment. So beyond money, beyond anything else we're talking about in here, we're talking about you. And your well-being is immeasurably important on its own. Okay? I want you to remember that. It's also essential to your business's profitability, sustainability, and scalability. And I want you to say this: I protect my well-being above all else. Otherwise, what am I building my own business for? As my well-being increases, my business success increases. Okay, now with that in mind, let's move forward. I do want you to make this training top priority. Close out other tasks on your computer. Silence your phone once you get that post up. Shut your door and really tune in, and let's change the future of your business starting right now. And this is, if you've seen, we do these focus in sessions. This is something that we do in the focus in sessions. We eliminate distractions because what we have to teach today is really important. And I'm super excited that I'm getting to share this with you today. I only do this training once a year. Now, let's chat, okay? Let's identify what's going on with you or your business. Sometimes those things seem interchangeable right now. So let me know in the chat if this is you. You love serving the greater good. If this is you, say greater good in the chat. Working with a wide variety of people and organizations and learning. Okay, we've got a lot of greater good. Awesome. This is, to me, this seems to be the the top concern with everybody that comes to my Grant Writing Boss trainings, is they want to have more purpose with their work. 2, you want the options of working from home and setting your own schedule, whether that's because you have kids or parents to care for, or you just want to, right? You don't have to be a caregiver. If that's you, say options. This for me was a huge factor. What became a huge factor later on as I had a kid and was able to completely make my own schedule, take maternity leave, take time off from client work, and still have an income. Okay, a ton of people saying options. And I know this is true because I have so many people when I do hiring who say the main thing I'm interested in is the option, the flexibility of working from home, setting my own schedule, determining who I want to spend my time around, determining who my coworkers are, who my clients are. Okay, let me know if this is you and tell me if this is you by saying wealth. You want to be an entrepreneur, which gives you more opportunity for growth and wealth building than a typical 9-to-5. And I'm going to give you some stats on this. Yes, wealth. And wealth can mean a variety of things to different people. Okay, a lot of people are saying wealth. Great. Now, if this is you, tell me next move. You are a skilled writer. Okay, this is important. You are a skilled writer and are exploring grant writing as a freelancer or consultant as your next move. And you aren't sure how to get started or how to progress. I know some of you in here are already grant writers. It can be tough. I know I've been stuck and I've been where I'm not sure what my next move is to grow. If that's you, let me know next move. We've got a lot of those. Awesome. Next, you have just started as a freelance grant writer or consultant and don't know how to get more clients so that you can grow this into a full-time endeavor. So tell me full-time if that's you, because a lot of people that come into my Boss Club trainings are doing this on the side or they're doing it as a volunteer, they're not getting paid, and they want to turn it into their full-time job. Awesome, a lot of people. Now, what I see is a lot of people have been trying to figure out how to get started for a while. Okay, this comes from working with hundreds, actually thousands of grant writers. And you're doing a lot of random internet research that isn't really teaching you what you need to know and telling you what your exact next steps are, right? There's just a deluge of information in some areas and then not enough information in other areas, and figuring out how to piece it all together is overwhelming, right? If that's you, say overwhelm. Okay. Yes. So you want to know how to get enough clients to pay yourself, not just a living wage, which is what most grant writers are not even making right now, but a very comfortable wage with potential for growth. Okay, so tell me potential. And I'm going to give you some stats on what staff grant writers are typically making right now. And then also you've probably, if you've been doing this for a few years, you need to learn how to scale what you're already doing and still be profitable. That's what I see a lot of grant writers struggle with. They're great at doing the work one-on-one with clients, but then when it's time to hire and no longer do so much grant writing yourself, which is what I love to do, is not do as much grant writing and run the business and do the business development, you're kind of stuck. So if that's you, tell me scale. I know there are a couple people in here. I think Kathy, probably ready to scale. I saw Kathy in here. Yes. Yeah, Pam, Don, Mary Alexander, awesome. So you want to learn how to build a team that allows you to do less of the client work and still get paid very, very well. What I'm going to teach you today is going to enable you to grow that team. Okay, I know this resonates with you. I don't even need to ask you. So let's go ahead and keep going. Thank you all for being so involved and responsive so far. Here is exactly what we're going to learn today. Why now is the time to shift to consulting full-time or grow your business. 2, how to effectively position yourself within the market. And 3, what to do to get your first or your very next client ASAP. So Give me a ready in the chat if you're ready to start building a profitable grant writing business today. And what I'm teaching you is not to just get going immediately, but also to set yourself up for success in the future, okay? Because there's a big difference. There's a big, big difference. Awesome. Everybody's ready. I love it. Okay, let's go. Here is my grant writing boss process. And I'm sorry if I keep sniffling here, I have a cold. So we're starting with this today. Know yourself. I'm teaching you little snippets of each portion of this. This follows the 8-week timeline that we do in Grant Writing Boss Club. So know yourself. I'm going to also teach you a portion of how to fill your pipeline with online marketing. And then I'm also going to teach you how to go from pipeline to signed. So having people in your client pipeline and then getting them signed. I know it sounds like a lot. I'm not going to go as in depth as we do in Boss Club, but I wanted to give you all enough that if you don't join Boss Club today, you are still going to be able to get started and make your next move. Okay, that's really important to me that this free training be actionable for you all. So let's talk about, first, we're going to talk about why now. Okay, a lot of this stuff you might know, but I think it helps to drill it into our brain and know what's going on in terms of numbers. So a quick overview. The gig economy is growing rapidly. The gig economy just means you're an independent contractor. It's everybody from Uber drivers to people like me who do grant writing consulting. With layoffs, and I know you are familiar, maybe some of you have been laid off, formerly stable jobs are not so stable anymore. And a lot of times people hesitate to take the leap into grant writing consulting because they're like, no, I love the stability of my job. Well, I just want you to challenge that thought for yourself. Because I've never been more stable in my career than I have been since I opened my own business, because I am now the one that it relies upon, and I trust myself more than anybody else. Next, staff grant writers are not paid a living wage. Is that surprising to anybody? Tell me that's surprising. If it's surprising to you, some of you might be on staff grant writers who are not making a living wage. It's so unfair and I hate it. Yeah, Terry Knox says that. Yes. And there is infinitely more potential for more growth as an independent contractor or grant writing boss. Now, here's what I really want to emphasize for you all. Some of this actually might be surprising. The gig economy is exploding. The number of global gig workers is expected to rise to 78 million in 2023. 36% of these freelancers freelance as their full-time job. 86% of freelancers think the best days for freelancing are still to come. And by the end of this year, 52% of workers are predicted to have spent some of their careers as independent contractors. And I have all the sources for this, each of these below. The global gig economy generates $204 billion in gross volume each year. 76% of gig workers say they're very satisfied with their choice. And 82% of gig workers say they're happier working on their own than they were for a boss. If you think that's you, let me know in the chat. I know for me, that is the biggest thing. More than the money, more than the flexibility, it's being able to work on my own that makes me happiest. And the gig economy is expanding 3 times faster than the total US workforce job growth, okay? Now let's talk about layoffs. So as you all know, and some of you may have been laid off, and I hate that, and I'm sorry. It's been heartbreaking to see. 57% of business leaders say layoffs are likely, estimate 30% or more of their workforce will be laid off in 2023, okay? In 2022, let's just look back on last year, employers announced plans to cut 363,824 jobs, which was up 13% from job cuts in 2021. And here are just some signs that your job is in danger. So just some things to keep in mind if you're worried about stability and going out on your own. Again, let's look at the stability of where you currently are. And this is not to be fear-mongering, it's just to think critically about the decisions that we're making. So here are just a few of the 7 in this list that they gave: poor financials, hiring freezes, executives leaving, companies who say there are no layoff plans, and cost cutting. Okay. Now let's talk about if you are currently a grant writer or a development director like I was. The median salary for grant writers in the US is $49,044. That's an average rate of $24.53. If you have kids, you know daycare is expensive. I was just reading an article about how much it costs to have a nanny, and most nannies are $25 to $30 an hour. So you couldn't even hire a nanny at this rate to make up for the time you're spending at your job. The average salary range is between $37,000 and $69,000 for grant writers. And I know when I was a development director in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, my starting salary with a PhD was $47,000. That was in 2015. And one day my boss said to me, just kind of off the cuff, "I know I'll never be able to pay you what you're worth." And that stuck with me. And that was the day I said to myself, I've got to get out of here because they're never going to pay me what I'm worth. I am going to pay me what I'm worth. And that's the only way I believe I'm going to be paid what I'm worth. Now let's talk about what is a living wage. So is this a living wage in the US right now? Living wage calculated in December 2021. So it's reflecting compensation being offered to an individual in 2022, compiling geographically across the US. The living wage in the US is $24.16 per hour, or $100,000 per year before taxes for a family of 4. Okay, compared to the living wage just 2 years ago or 1 year ago, which was $89,000. Yeah, and living wage is higher for a single person, okay, because you have to pay your bills on your own. So we're kind of taking that into account here. So if you have a family of 4 and you're the sole provider, you're likely not going to make a living wage as a salaried grant writer for a nonprofit. If you have a partner who's also making the median wage for a grant writer, you are just barely making a living wage in the United States. Now, low wages for staff grant writers, again, if you stay at your nonprofit or jump from grant writing job to grant writing job, you are still likely going to max out your salary at around $70K. So it's very unlikely that you're going to make more than that as a grant writer on staff. That's the average ceiling, no matter how much experience and success you have. And it will be difficult to break through that in the nonprofit world. So here's the difference. When you're an independent contractor, you set your own rates. Right now, I charge $150 to $400 per hour for our grant writing services, depending upon the type of service and who the client is working with directly. If you're doing one-on-one coaching with me, it's $400 per hour, and people pay that. Our monthly revenue per employee, is $10,000 to $15,000, and we're fully booked and have more prospects in the pipeline ready to work with us at these rates. Okay, so $10,000 to $15,000 per employee, and that price is only going up each year. Okay. Now, in review, why now is the time to make the leap into full-time consulting if you have not already, or to go all in. And think about this, with all of these layoffs, grant writers are getting laid off, other nonprofit staff are getting laid off, and it's more affordable for them often to pay you to do the work as an independent contractor than to have you on staff. Doesn't mean you're not getting paid well. It means you're way more efficient in your time and you're getting paid a lot per hour. So in review, gig economy is growing rapidly. With layoffs, formerly stable jobs are not so stable anymore. Staff grant writers are not paid a living wage. And there's infinitely more potential for growth as an independent contractor or a grant writing boss. So you've got people on your team doing the writing, which expands how much you can make. Okay, so again, here's what we're going to go over. First, we're going to do know yourself. Okay, let's see. One more slide here. I didn't state this earlier, sorry. Even starting out, you can and should, so I'm going to tell you right now, put this number in your head, charge at least $75 per hour. At 20 hours per week, that's $6,000 per month. At 40 hours per week, that's $12,000 per month. Okay, so know yourself. We're going to get into how to get to that price point, how to design your services around what you know. Because what I see is people go out here and they're like, okay, I'm going to do grant writing. Like, okay, what does that mean? What particular talents and skills are you drawing upon? So don't just start at some arbitrary point just because you feel you don't have enough experience. That's another major issue I see for folks. So if you have written a few grants, even if they're not awarded, sorry, I've got my coffee mug here, even if they've not been awarded, if you've gotten good feedback, either from the grant maker or from your client or your boss, start there, okay? Know which tasks you can do well now, and also know what you might enjoy. Again, we're building for sustainability. I do not want you to do things that you absolutely loathe. There's no reason to do that in a business that you're building, okay? If there's something you feel is absolutely necessary in the future, hire somebody to do that part of it for you, okay? So we're going to start there with your services. As you grow, you will learn what you don't want to do or what you don't want to keep doing and adjust. So if you're not sure yet, let's go with what you think you might want to do. So here is a list of strengths that most grant writers have or need to have. So we have writing skills. Obviously, that's kind of the baseline. Do you have writing skills? Do you have math skills or the competency to learn math skills for the budget? And if you can learn how to use a spreadsheet, that's the math skills, okay? You don't have to have algebra skills. Research skills for the narrative and for the grant search and evaluation. Analytic skills, so deciphering rules and requirements for grants and evaluating grant prospects. Strategic thinking for developing programs, designing programs for clients, which is actually a huge part of grant writing. And then attention to detail and organization, and that is for client project management. So take a moment right now, and I want you to write down your top 1 or 2 skills among this list of strengths, because that is going to lead you to your next step, which is deciding what you want your first offer to be. Okay, have a couple written down. Now, the next level, this is what really sets you apart from your competition, is you need to know your genius, okay? So with going back one, we know strengths, okay? These are just job skills, but what is your genius? So your subject matter expertise through education. You may have subject matter expertise through job or volunteer experience. You may have exceptional leadership experience. You might have some amazing, impressive awards and recognition. So if you're watching right now, screenshot this. You're going to come back to this and fill this out. But the thing I really want you to think about is subject matter expertise. What do you have that other folks do not have? And I'm sure other folks have it, but do they also have the grant writing skill? Do they also have the budgeting skill? They also have the client project management skill. All these things are going to come together. Now let me give you an example here. Well, actually, I want you first, tell me what you think your genius is. I'll give you some more examples in a moment, but what is your genius? So for me, I have this depth of knowledge in the rhetorics of advocacy, especially in Appalachia. So that's where I started. My services, I only started providing services in Appalachia. Started in West Virginia and grew from there. Okay, LaTanya says leadership. Quinal says critical thinking. Samantha says marketing, community management. Brain licensed trainer and integrative nutrition. Mary Alexander, social racial advocacy. Awesome. Now we're going to design your cornerstone service. During this training, I used to say design 3 services, but I just want you to do 1, because this is going to be the primary one that you are focusing on as you take your next step to get your first or next client. So 1 specific and limited services and no more than that to pitch. It should be based on your strengths. Now here's how to do it. We're doing this today. We're doing it now. We're leaving this with this action step completed. I want you to write the service name and define it in 1 sentence. What exactly will you do? And what will the client receive? So here are some examples: grant writing, budget development, program design, grant prospect research, grant revision. Each of these are very different in scope. So it's important to define it before you ever start looking for your first or next client. So here is what I call my 3 cornerstone services: grant readiness assessment, grant search and evaluation, grant writing, and revision. And here's how I define that first one, okay? We've got to have a definition. So everybody who comes to you is clear on exactly what this will include and what they'll get at the end. So the process and the deliverable need to be defined. So here's how I describe mine. This service includes a goal setting session, review and assessment of current grant portfolio, identification of 20 to 30 qualified grant opportunities. So qualified is a term that I use specifically and I define for my clients later, and creation of a grant prospect spreadsheet with an application timeline and prospect assessment. So among the 20 to 30 qualified grant opportunities, which means they're not just eligible for them, they are well qualified for them. I also give them a priority of high, medium, and low according to a matrix. Okay. So let's take a moment to write down your cornerstone service and define it in the same way that I have here. And if you can't, I don't expect it to be perfect, but just come up with what you think you can do. What is the best thing that you can offer right now? And if you are someone who has been doing this for a while, I see some folks. Hey, Shelly, thanks for being here. Come up with your next service or a way to redefine what you do so that it offers more value to people. That's one of a secret that I haven't even put on here in this presentation because we don't have time. But as you're growing your business, look at the sticking points, the barriers that your clients experience, and figure out ways to add components to your current service or more services to help them overcome those barriers. Okay, so even if you just have a short little phrase here, let's move on to the next step, which is who is the service for? What type of client do you want to serve? So we're going beyond like nonprofits or government agencies or academic researchers. We want to get specific, and this should be based on your genius, your area or field of expertise that you're knowledgeable in. So for example, environmental advocacy, social justice, human rights, performing arts, basic needs. We had a couple people in here identify some very specific things. Yes, so Shelley, service for elderly and homeless, senior services, grants for education, arts education programming, behavioral health and leadership, parental grief counseling for loss. So those things are very specific, and this is going to help you find your perfect client. Sometimes people call this designing a client avatar. I'm just making it simple and focusing on you and what you are talented in. Okay, do we all have that? I want you to give me in the chat your expertise, your area. Yeah, employment is basic needs. Yeah, you can include that under there. You can just say employment. Okay, awesome. Autism, mental health, medical and chemistry research, fantastic. So that's a very niche field that you have to have a lot of knowledge for, so you can command such a high wage for that. Seniors health, veterans, homelessness. Yes, and a couple of people are asking, the recording will be going out to everybody after this if you want to watch this back. But I do encourage you to stick around today because we have some special things for folks who stay to the end. Now let's talk about pricing. I literally just added this today because I have a formula that I like to use. There's more background work that normally goes into it in Boss Club, but I want to share the basic formulas that I use today with you all so that you can go ahead and get started and know what you should be charging out the door. So first, a little mindset work. Your cornerstone service is not based on what other people are charging. You don't need to go out and benchmark, do research, and see what everyone else is charging. I'm going to tell you the standard rates, okay? I've already told you the standard rates. It's like 25 to 150 per hour or more for high-end consulting. I'm not going to let you charge $25 per hour, though. Let's get into why in a minute. Your cornerstone service pricing is not based on what you think clients can afford. A lot of that's in your own head, and they can afford a lot more when they have more grant money coming in, and that's what you're going to help them do. So there's a value to your service that you have to account for when you set your price. It's not just about what you would be paid as an hourly grant writer if you were on staff. It's about so much more than that. It's about the value. And finally, you set the price, and then you find the clients that can pay for it. Okay? We're working backwards on this. We're not feeling desperate and going out there and saying, okay, I want to work with this type of client, so I'm going to set the price here. You set the price you need, and then you will find the client that can pay for it, and you will find the client that can pay for it, okay? Now, why you deserve to make more than a living wage. All those stats that I gave you before, you deserve more than that. I believe every human being does. 2, your business will not grow if you're charging the bare minimum and you're always stressed and pressed, okay? And finally, you want to provide your clients with an amazing service, an amazing experience, an amazing result, which means they have to pay your price. Your price is your price, okay? Your price is your price. I want you to say that. So I want to go back to this real quick. If any of you are questioning this and you're like, I don't believe it, I'm not sure about this, I'm telling you this from 8 years of experience. You will find someone to pay your price, and you will find enough people to pay your price. I started out rock bottom pricing, like the Walmart of pricing. And now I'm not, okay? Because I want to provide the best service, and this is the way that I can do it. Now, here's my secret formula. There are 2 steps to it. So it's monthly revenue goal equals 1.3 times owner's pay. So take a step back and first answer me, how much money do you want to take home each month? This is after taxes because you're not paying those out of each paycheck. So what do you want to take home each month? And in Boss Club, we do a lot more pre-work to figure out what you really need and figure out what you really want in your life. But let's just do a guesstimate. We can either do what you're earning now or more. How much do you want to take home each month? Write it down. So let's say you wrote down 5,000. You want to take home 5,000 per month. Okay, I've got a couple people who say 10K, 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 3 to 5, 6. Okay, if you want to pay yourself 5,000, your monthly revenue goal is 6,500. Okay, we've got some other folks chiming in. So if you're saying 7,000, multiply that times 1.3. If you need to screenshot this, here it is for you to screenshot. Monthly revenue goal equals 1.3 times what you want to bring home per month. Now, next step, we're talking about hourly rates. Divide your monthly revenue goal by 100. This is the number of billable hours you're aiming for. So we're saying 25 hours per week. That's 5 hours per day. Some people might say, shouldn't I be working 40 hours a week? No, not on client work. You might work 40 hours a week if you want to, but the other 15 should be business admin and development. So your billable hours will probably be about 25 per week. So hourly rate equals that monthly revenue goal divided by billable hours per week times 4. So if you don't want to calculate that, like, oh, I only want to work 10 hours a week. So that would be monthly revenue goal divided by 40. Let's just go with 100. So if your revenue goal is 6,500 and your billable hours per week is 25 or 100 per month, you must charge $65 per hour. Take a screenshot of that if you need to. Now that number, 65 per hour, is already more than what you're going to see if you go to Upwork, Fiverr, other sites where people are like, I'm selling my grant writing services. They're not making a living wage. Maybe it's not their full-time job, and they're not doing a good job. And I know this because I've talked to hundreds of prospective clients who've told me they paid grant writers a certain number per hour, way below what I charge. And they either didn't get the service at all, like they just didn't do the work, or the work was terrible. So that's not us, that's not you. So you're charging at least 65 per hour. Then I want you to bump that up by 10%. Why? We're supplementing months in which you don't have a full 25 hours per week. So if you said 65 hours or $65 an hour, that puts you up to $71.50, and I'm telling you, round it up to $75 per hour. Okay. Now, you might want to charge by the hour. You might want to charge by project. I recommend when you're getting started to charge by the hour because you don't know how long it takes you to do things. So you've got to do intense time tracking to know how long it takes you to do things. We have it down so that we know about how much it takes to do things, how much time, and we have a range. So we do client retainers, and we have a range. So we say, okay, 3 to 6 grants per month. It costs this base price per month, and that's what they pay, no matter how many hours it takes us, because we have built in a cushion and we know how long it's going to take us. Okay. So you will be able to do that, but I do recommend starting at an hourly price. And if people are balking at your hourly price, they're not the right people, okay? Because you're providing value beyond your time. So now at the end of this, step 1, you should have your cornerstone service. You should have a clear picture of what you want to do, how much you'll charge, and who you want to serve. You are going to use this to draw your ideal client to you. And if you don't have it just yet, you're going to, after this training, take a moment, work through these steps again. I will send out the recording so that you can work through each step and get that cornerstone service laid out. And again, we're just doing 1. Okay, now I want to know here who feels that they have a new cornerstone service mapped out, or they feel like they can quickly and easily map it out after this session. So let me know, me in the chat. Awesome. Awesome. Seeing some familiar faces. Hey, Justy. Love it. Summer, Stephen, Marion. Awesome. And you know how to map it out, Tiffany. Fantastic. Okay. Now, tell me if you know now, what is your cornerstone service and who is it for? Thank you, Summer. What is your cornerstone service and who is it for? Women solo entrepreneurs. Fantastic, Felicia. I love that. My favorite people to work with. Parents on the spectrum. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. I love that. Economic development, tribal government, building self. Love it. Okay, so it sounds like you have a good idea of what you want your service to be and who it's for. Now you're going to find your next client. Now I know this seems to be the most difficult, maybe scary part, because this is the part where you have to put yourself out there. And I know for me, at least, that was the scariest part. So I'm going to ease you into it. So everybody has a network, whether they know it or not. And that's where we're going to start. So step one, to put the word out. Tell friends, family, colleagues, and acquaintances that you are open for business, accepting new clients. This is the best first step, even if you're well established, okay? Because people forget what you're doing. People don't recognize you have capacity for more. And on average, each person you know knows at least 600 other people. So the network, it really is a network. It's not just you. It is a network with lots of spokes coming off the wheel. And your personal network already knows, likes, and trusts you. The most important thing for getting a client is that they know, like, and trust you. They'll be the most willing to help you out, introduce you to someone they know needs your services, and keep an eye out for opportunities for you. I know when Julie started working with me, she announced on LinkedIn, hey, I'm doing this new job. And I think she emailed some of her friends and colleagues and, said, I'm making this career switch. And we got a new client from her saying that, someone that didn't know us at all. So there's always going to be someone in your personal network that can get you that next client. It can be something as simple as, I'm excited to share with you that I have opened a grant writing consulting business, or I'm growing my existing consulting business so that I can use my expertise to serve, and then put in your ideal client who you said you wanted to serve a minute ago, to serve nonprofits that help women and children advocate. Nonprofits that help women and children or advocate for clean energy, or whatever you've identified as your genius, your expertise. If you know anyone who would be interested in working together, please send them my way via email and then your email. Simple as that. It doesn't have to be some fancy video or social media post with imagery that you've designed. It could just be a picture of you and this short thing, and always give someone that next step. Here's how to get in contact with me. Now, after this session ends, I want to know, are you going to write your own little script? This is the script, just this tiny thing right here, and share it on your social media or email it to folks. Give me a yes in the chat if you are ready to do this. It couldn't be simpler, okay? We do not need to overcomplicate this. Awesome. You can do it, yes, I know. You know what, it feels scary until you do it and you're like, that was nothing, that was easy. This is how I got my first client. This is how I got my second client, my third client. simply going online and saying, hey, I'm doing this. And I had people immediately reaching out to me, needing help. Then you're going to keep putting the word out. Oh, and let me highlight here, Shelly said, yes, no, we're waiting until I know everything. You do not need to know everything. No one knows everything. I don't know everything. The president of the United States doesn't know everything. Do what you can do. You are better, I guarantee it, than 90% of the people who are out there offering this service. Then we're going to keep posting about this on your personal social networks and LinkedIn. If you already have a business page on social media, announce that you have client openings there and use your client avatar to share what kind of clients you want to work with. Don't just repost the same announcement that you did. That's a great first step, but I want you to keep it fresh. Share progress on your journey from like, oh, here's a snapshot of my new marketing materials, or here's, a new client that I got, or here's a new project I'm working on, or here's what inspired me to get started. Here's what my skills are. Go deeper into how you got that knowledge and skill. Anything to intrigue your existing network and keep your new business top of mind. Always include images. You don't have to design anything amazing. You can just go on unsplash.com, download a cute image, or even better, just take a selfie of yourself. Selfies, just with nothing on them, do very well for these because, again, this is your personal network. They want to see your face. Okay, then we're going to actively search for clients. So you've put yourself out there. You keep spreading your net among your personal group. Now you're going to go to that next step. Here's what I found is one of the best ways. Step 3, join some free grant writing Facebook groups or whatever type of social network you're in. Maybe you're following a specific Twitter hashtag or Instagram hashtag or TikTok. Go in there and network with other grant writers and consultants. This is also a great way to find subcontracting work that will help you get the experience and references you need to get bigger long-term clients. This is how I got started. I got subcontracting work with a technical writing firm, okay? And that led me to eventually getting, one-on-one, like direct contract work. Step 4, research nonprofits in your area and pitch to them. Again, I know it's scary, but this is why we're at step 4. We're going on down the line from easiest to hardest. Pitch them your services, even if they don't have a current grant writing job ad up. So you can go online, obviously, and look on Indeed or Idealist and find grant writing, both contract and salaried positions open, and pitch your contracting services to those folks. But I have a client to this day that I still work with from 2016 that did not advertise for a grant writer in any way, shape, or form, but I saw their mission and what they did, and I reached out to them. I was like, this is amazing. I want to be a part of this. Here's what I can do. I used to have a spreadsheet when I first got started with clients I wanted to work with. I would write 5 emails a day to those clients, each of those emails tailored to that organization, speaking about why I'm interested, their strengths, etc. And then later I upped that to 10 emails per day. So here's what you write in that cold pitch email or message. So 1 sentence introduction to yourself. Again, we're keeping this brief. You don't need to write a dissertation, all right? People are busy. 1 sentence introduction to yourself, why you're reaching out. I have so many people reach out to me on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and they never say anything specific about my business. Why would I want to work with you if you didn't take 5 minutes to research what I do? So always include some type of compliment. Tell them what you love about their organization or how you're impressed with the recent project they did and why. And then tell them what you can offer them, okay? So again, a lot of times I see people provide like a full page on like, here's my story and here's where I've been, here's where I want to go. This is not about you. This is about them. So tell them what you can offer and where you think there could be room for growth. So I used to look at their funder lists. Usually they have a list of who's funded them, or you can go check their 990s. And then I would say, I think there's some opportunity here with this funder. Be specific and offer value. Like I just said, tell them about a grant opportunity you saw that made you think of them. Even if they know about it already, and you might say that, hey, you might know about this already, but I wanted to let you know that I saw this and thought of you. And then let them know you would love to do a free consult and make it easy to schedule with you. You can use an online scheduler like Calendly or Acuity for like $10 a month. And that actually is well worth the investment. Now, keep this in mind. I want you to drill this into your head. This is not made up. This is a statistic from HubSpot, which is a marketing app, and they help you. It's like a CRM. They help you keep track of your clients. You may have to follow up a total of 7 times or more just to get that person to respond. That's okay. That's normal. Keep trying. No, 7 times. And just be persistent. Be, what's the word I'm looking for? Just assume people are very busy. You know you're busy. You know they're busy. So just be persistent until they tell you, diligent, until they tell you, hey, I don't want this. Please don't contact me. And that's fine. Don't take it any type of way. Rinse and repeat. Keep checking in, applying for, pitching for contracts and subcontracts, cultivating leads, and putting yourself out there. You have to put in the time cultivating leads initially. Again, this is normal. These steps, I can promise you, you will get leads and you will get a client from this. Now, that's why I said earlier, we're not doing 40 hours of client work a week. We're doing at most 25, 15 of development. That's where all this comes in. As your business grows and you build a reputation, both with your clients and online, you will do less and less of this, okay? And people will just come to you, okay? And so I'm a testament to that. I don't reach out to clients. I have not done that for years. Okay, so tell me, of these two, which step are you going to take today to find your next client? Are you going to join some social media group and search for opportunities and announce yourself there? Or are you going to find a prospective client through research and write a cold pitch email? Which one of these are you willing to do today? Number one, yeah, that's kind of the low, not low hanging fruit, but like a low bar to entry, right? Awesome. And I know cold pitching can be overwhelming. It can be scary. Just know they're not thinking about you that much, okay? So they're thinking more about what they need and what they can afford, what they can focus on, okay? Someone said you have Facebook groups you recommend. Literally just go on Facebook, search grant writing or grant writing consulting groups, and you'll find some. You'll have to get permission to join. Now, I'm, again, encouraging you to take immediate action today so you can start to build evidence that you can do this, because you can sit in your head and think and think and think and think about this, okay, and never get anywhere. We don't need to do that. We're learning from action. As soon as you start taking action, you start learning more about what to do, okay? And you start gaining confidence because you see that you can do it. You start getting responses and you build momentum to do even more and get new clients. Okay. Now, step 3, we've got a party picture here. I want you to land your first or next client with me. Now, we're right at the top of the hour. I know everybody wants to like power through presentations, but we are doing 2 hours. So I want to take a 5-minute break before we jump into this next segment. Again, we're all about mindfulness, taking care of our bodies. So let's pause, 5-minute break, come back. I don't want to lose you. We've got really, really important stuff coming up next about how to actually get those clients to sign with you, which can be the scariest. part because then you're really pitching, you're doing your full pitch, okay? All right, so 5-minute break, come back at 12:05 Central Time, 1:05 Eastern Time. Okay. Thanks, everybody. See you in a second. All right, everybody, I'm back. I hope you are still here with us. It looks like most of you are. A couple business things. We are going to be sending out a recording of this that is captioned after the session ends. It takes a little while for it to process, so give us like an hour or two. We will send this back out. Someone asked how we can enroll in Grant Writing Made Easy. That enrollment is permanently closed. However, when you join Grant Writing Boss Club, you will be able to get that access for free for the next 10 months, okay? So those are the only folks who are able to get Grant Writing Made Easy from now on. Okay, so let's talk about landing your first or next client. Let me know who's with me. Say next client in the chat. Are y'all ready? Awesome. Next client, next client, next client. Okay, let's go, let's go. Now, these are strategies I use, okay? Nothing I'm teaching you in here is made up, unproven. This is what I do, okay? So once you've found the clients that are interested in working with you, or you're interested in working with them, you've approached them about a meeting, or you've had them come to you, it's time to have your prospective client meeting, right? Nobody's going to sign on with you without a meeting first. So if the clients found you, okay, you are going to need a discovery call questionnaire that helps you qualify prospective clients before they get to that call scheduling stage. So before I let anybody schedule a call and, take that time with me, I need to know that they are ready to work with me, ready and willing and able to pay, and they are ready for grants, okay? Sorry, I went backwards. You can make these easily and for free on Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, which has both a free and paid version, or a paid software like I use called Dubsado, which is a CRM. Also a client management and workflow automation system. I teach more about that in Boss Club and how to set it all up, but that's what I use. But you can use free Google Forms to ask these same questions. Okay, so here's what mine looks like. Pretty basic at the top. Basic contact info, first, last name, phone. Then I ask for Instagram or Facebook profile, job title or role within their organization, and very importantly, are you the decision maker in your organization? I want to know if someone else has to give us the go ahead. Is there someone else that needs to be on this call? I want to speak with the decision maker, okay? Then I get details about their nonprofit, make sure they're registered, make sure I know which state they're registered in. I want to know their annual operating revenue. And then I want to know where they're currently experiencing challenges. And I have a drop-down menu. So grant writing, grant revision, grant search, grant readiness. And then I ask them to elaborate on that here. And then some people come to me already knowing that they have a particular grant opportunity that they want to apply for. And so I ask more details about that. I ask some background on whether they've applied before, been awarded grants, applied for grants, and which ones they've been awarded or submitted. And then I want to know if they've ever hired someone to help with their grant writing searches or grant writing or searches before. And that gives me a little indication of, one, can they afford to hire someone? And two, do they know what it's like to work with someone? And also three, they might have had a bad experience and I need to address that in our meeting. And yes, if they're not ready to apply, you could potentially offer grant readiness. But sometimes people come to me before they're even ready to do grant readiness. Like they haven't even established their nonprofit yet. I don't do nonprofit registrations, so I don't take on clients like that. And very, very importantly, for your pipeline management, when is your ideal start date to begin working together? Sometimes people will tell me that day. Sometimes people will tell me a month. It's really important to know this so that you know what your schedule could look like if you took on this client. and if you're able to take this client on. And then the most important statement, we do not work on contingency, commission, or deferred payment. I explain what that means. You should not be doing this. It is considered unethical for many reasons. We talk about it more in Boss Club, but basically you should be paid whether you get the grant or not. And then I say we only work one-on-one with clients who are able to afford our services without financial strain or hardship. Are you able to invest in a grant writer? And then last question, just for my marketing purposes, I want to know how they found out about us. We have a drop-down menu there. Okay, so again, this does 3 things for you: qualifying your client prospects. Ensures the prospect is serious about working with you and not wasting your time, because getting a no-show to a call is extremely frustrating and it wastes time, energy, etc. because they have to put in the time to fill out that sheet, right? And it gives you the basic info you need to have a very productive conversation instead of spending most of the call just gathering info. You want to spend the time focusing on how you can address the need they've already identified, and then what the next steps are for working with you and what that looks like. And 3, you know they know you are serious and do not do pro bono work unless you do. Okay, you can do that if you want. You do not work for contingency pay or on spec or whatever they want to call it. You do the work, you get paid regardless of whether the grant is awarded. What you include in your qualifying questions will vary from what I have, but you need to make sure they are able and willing to apply for grants and pay you to help them do so. That's a non-negotiable in this process, okay? All right, so are you all ready with this info to pre-qualify your client prospects? Maybe you don't have all the questions written out, but in your mind, do you know before someone gets on a call with you, no one's getting a free coffee chat to pick your brain, nobody's setting up a time with you unless they are qualified, because your time is precious, right? And you deserve to make money, okay? All right, a lot of heck yes, some no freebies. Oh yeah, awesome. Love it. Now, once you've qualified them and invited them to book a call with you on your scheduler, you need to have a pitch. So we're going to develop a pitch. Even though it sounds salesy, gimmicky, even maybe icky to you, it doesn't have to be. If you center the client in your pitch, it is not going to feel bad, okay? You need this step to help move your clients along in the process. All right, that is slide 100 of 100. Now I've got to open a new slide deck because I have a limit to how much I can have on one slide deck. Okay, now I'm going to share the screen with you all real quick. Thank you for your patience. Here's how we are developing that pitch. When you get on a call, I want you to have a Word doc script pulled up for you to refer to. You do not need to read it verbatim, but have it pulled up in case you forget a step or phrasing that you want to use. Once you do it dozens of times, you'll just have it memorized. You won't need it. This is going to help you increase your conversion rate from prospect to signed client. Now, I also always have a slide deck that lays everything out with pretty design and images. So you want to say who you are, both personally, your mission and your core values for your business. I always lay that out at the beginning, especially because I don't want clients who conflict with my core values. Like if I have a client that comes to me and we are drastically different in our beliefs, it's my prerogative to say no to them, okay? Also, your experience and expertise. So years in the field, years in grant writing, years in nonprofit management, and some major successes if you can. I have a little video that plays with like different grants that we've won and amounts. It's very impressive to people and they always say so. If you don't have that, that's fine. Then what services you offer, or going back to step 1, right? Pull up that cornerstone service and the definition. Then we're going to have a process for working with you. So what does it look like? And then the next steps they need to take to get signed up. We always want to have that. We never want to leave them wondering what the next step is. Okay, so in your conversation, here's what we're starting with. Sometimes we forget this. Always start with a greeting and a thanks. Their time is precious. You acknowledging that means a lot to them. And I also like to have a little bit of small talk. Usually it's about where they live. Usually I've, been in the area and I like to talk about that just to have that personal touch. Then you're going to give them, okay, here's what our goal is today. You said you really need help with grant writing for X. That's what we're going to talk about today. At the end of this call, we're going to talk about how we can best serve you, okay? And then you get into the invitation. And I have a slide for this. It's like, tell me all about yourself, your work, what you need right now. And not all about, but like your short version, right? What do you need in your nonprofit? And as they're doing this, ask follow-up and clarifying questions, not just to show interest, but because normally people don't get specific enough in these conversations. And take some basic notes. Just don't be looking down the whole time or typing the whole time. Try to keep eye contact. I'm assuming you're doing this over Zoom, but you might be doing it at a face-to-face meeting. But try to keep some eye contact and show that you're listening. And then give them praise and admiration where appropriate. This is not just like, trying to grease them up. Like, I love doing this myself because it's important to me that I recognize not just what they need, what they're lacking in, but what they're doing well. And I like to show my admiration and appreciation. And they're often not used to that, okay? When they're done speaking, summarize what they told you. And if appropriate, tell them it sounds like it might be a good fit. If it doesn't sound like a good fit, and I've had this happen, I tell them, I don't think this sounds like a good fit. If I can recommend something or someone else to them, I will. If not, I say, here's why I think it's not a good fit, and leave it at that. Then tell them what type of project they need. Sometimes they don't even know. They're just like, we need money for this. We don't know where to start. They don't have any grants in mind. So then we start with a grant search, or maybe they're not grant ready. We start there. So you're basically starting the consulting and education process during this call. So think of this as an opportunity to demonstrate your expertise. Then tell them a bit about yourself and your business. I like to get them immediately focused on themselves and the problem at the start of the meeting, and then go back into, okay, you've told us all this stuff. Once they have that trust of telling you problems and issues they're having, they're already more likely to work with you. It's like psychological fact. Once they invest trust in you, they're more ready to hear about you and what you can do for them. Then put the focus back on them and what type of project would be a perfect fit for them, how it works, what your strategy would be. Not too detailed, you're not giving away everything. And then what results they can expect. And I like to be realistic, right? I like to say, when you're applying for a grant for the first time with a new grant maker to you, 30% is the general acceptance rate. We're trying to increase that using our advanced strategies. However, you have to expect that in the first 3 months of working together, you likely will not win a grant, okay? Because we're doing all of this work to get you where you need to be. Then explain how they would make all of this happen, okay? So if you're ready to do XYZ, what they want to do, here's what we need to do. The process of signing a contract, paying part of or all of an invoice, then having a kickoff meeting, and tell them the timeline, when you can get started, when you can complete the project, and always keep that end result you want front of mind for the client. So when we end, it's not in the conversation with paying the invoice, it's in the conversation with, we can have this done by X date. And then say, all right, are you ready to get started? If they say no, then you say, okay, what is keeping you from taking that next step? And then address those concerns if you can. If you can't, that's okay too. And then if they're not ready to sign, you can end the call, send them a thank you email, include a link or attachment of your service sheet, which is something we develop in Boss Club in the first week, and then tell them you're happy to answer any questions they can think of. If they are ready to get started, tell them the next step is to send a contract for their review and approval, and then an invoice. They have to sign the contract and pay the invoice before you can do anything, okay? And then include a deadline on that offer. This is important. Include a deadline on that offer so that they need to respond by a certain date, or you can't guarantee the price won't be more, or the spot might be unavailable, okay? Because that doesn't mean you won't work with them after that date, but they'll need to check back in and be like, do we need to update this contract? Has your pricing increased? Okay. Have you filled the spot yet? Because even if you're not, at the point where you're so booked and busy that the spot might be unavailable, you need to let them know that could be the reality, okay? And it puts a little bit of urgency on them. Okay. Now, tell me, do you feel ready to prepare a script and slides for your next prospective client call or in-person meeting? Let me know in the chat. Tell me ready. Awesome. It's really not as complicated. Once you have these steps laid out, it's really not as complicated as you might think in your head, okay? Now, we've gone over those 3 main parts. Devana, no, you cannot give them a percentage of the grant if awarded. That's not allowed unless it's a technical assistance grant typically, and it's only for work done after. So you can't retroactively apply a grant to work that's already been done, so no. Okay. Now, I want to make this process of developing all of this as easy as possible for you. I taught you tiny pieces of the 3 weeks of the 8 weeks of Grant Writing Boss Club. There's so much more to it. And you need support along the way, which is, why I created Boss Club. So today, I promise you would learn what it takes to build a profitable grant writing business. I taught you the first 3 steps, how to design your cornerstone service, find your next client, and land your next client. How many of you feel like you now have a better understanding of how to do that? Let me know in the chat. Yes. Okay, and that was in about an hour and a half. Okay. I want you to get the results you want, and here is what you need to get the results you want. You've got to help your clients succeed with grants, pay yourself very well. Every person in here deserves to be paid very well, and build your business for wealth, scalability, and sustainability. So what should you do next? Of course, you all know I've already talked about this. Grant Writing Boss Club is the next step. So you can either take action today with me, or you can maintain the status quo of what you've been doing. I'm inviting you today to join Grant Writing Boss Club. So it's taking what you learned today and just exploding it, turning it into 8 weeks of training. Thank you, Julie. Julie has put the link to join Grant Writing Boss Club in the chat, so you can learn more about it there, but I'm going to go through all of it right now with you, okay? So Grant Writing Boss Club, I only do it once a year. So this is your only opportunity to join this year. It's also your only opportunity to get into Grant Writing Made Easy if you have not already joined. Okay, sorry, that shouldn't be bonuses. That should be the main parts. So the first thing that we do in Boss Club is you take the Grant Writing Boss Pathway Assessment to know exactly where you are on the pathway, and we give you different levels, and then each level has recommendations and a separate workbook section to tell you what your next steps are, because we always have people at different stages. Our content is tailored to both beginning and intermediate grant writing consultants, okay? So this is going to help you know, okay, here's where I am, here's what I need to do, what I need to know, and how the course is going to help me do that. Next, we have 8 live 2-hour trainings each week. So 1 per week. And that is where I do something like this, but you have a comprehensive workbook to go along with it. You can talk to me during this workshop or training, get clarification on questions that you have. And then that same week, we do a live office hour session so that you can get feedback on guidance on anything you've developed based on that training, or if you need help getting started with a draft, okay? So there are going to be multiple people in there who can help you work on creating the thing that we taught you to create during the training. Here is our schedule, Tuesdays and Thursdays, February through March, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. That's when our trainings are. Trainings are Tuesdays, office hours are Thursdays. Now, if you cannot come to this, okay, that is okay. We are recording all of this. You can send questions to us in advance, if especially for the office hours, and we can answer them during the office hours, and we can answer them on Slack, okay? Also, 8 comprehensive Boss Club workbooks. They're not just simple workbooks with fill in the blanks. They're detailed, content oriented, give you a lot more detail than what I talked about today. So what I talked about today is 3 separate, like 20+ page workbooks, okay? Customizable templates for everything you can imagine. Contracts, financial spreadsheets, social media and marketing materials, your clients' services sheet, everything. And then 10 post-training monthly support meetings. So the training is 2 months. Support meetings are for the rest of that year. So we start in February, and then we have trainings through March. Okay, February and March are trainings, and then we have support meetings once a month. During those support meetings, we either have a specific topic or we do hot seats. So you come in and get your stuff reviewed, worked on, you bring an issue to us that you're having in your business or an idea, and we talk about it. Then you get 1 year of support on the Boss Club Slack workspace. Okay, so people in here are asking about networking. That's where you, in addition to the live stuff, you get that networking opportunity there. That's also where, in between the trainings and the monthly support meetings, you can ask us questions and get help and feedback, whether you need a resource, whether you're having a client issue, whether you need to know a next step, know where something is, you get support there. You can also network via the Boss Club directory. So this is new, something we did last year. You go on, request access, and then you can put your info on, your contact details, and what you are open to doing or what you're looking for. So let's say you need somebody to, excuse me, to do a grant search for you, then you might find somebody you can subcontract with through that. Or maybe you have a prospective client who's totally outside of your subject matter expertise, and you go on the directory and you see somebody else in there who has that subject matter expertise. That makes you more valuable to that prospective client, and they're going to remember that you were able to give them that referral. Plus, getting and giving referrals from each other is another key benefit to Boss Club. And then the Boss Club training library. So the training library includes prior cohort trainings and office hour recordings. So if you want to go and see, like if you don't want to wait till February 7th and you want to start looking at stuff, You can go in there and do it now. We also switch up the trainings a little bit each time, or a lot for some of them, and have entirely different trainings. So you can go there and watch those old ones. Also, once you complete your coursework, you send us your materials, your completed workbooks, we will give you a custom completion certificate, digital, and a logo that you can use on your website and marketing materials, saying that you completed our program. Okay, so here's some exciting stuff. Bonus number 1, work like a boss, party like a boss. Last year, for the first time, we had a virtual party with a live DJ who just literally the best party I've ever been to, not just virtual, but the best party. So we're going to do that again this year with a live DJ for everybody in Grant Writing Boss Club. It's a $100 value. Bonus 2, 10-month membership to Grant Writing Made Easy, which we're not even selling anymore. Nobody can buy it. It's a $750 value. And again, if you're someone who's like, okay, I'm switching careers, I'm new to grant writing, this is for you. This is where you go, learn all the basic grant writing skills, and then you can also attend the twice monthly, Grant Writing Made Easy workshops. Okay, bonus number 3, only when you join today, Grant Writing Boss merch. You know, I gotta have my merch. We will send you a t-shirt in your preferred size and color, and we'll get in contact with you after you join, asking you that, and we will ship that to you. And bonus number 4, again, only when you join today, a 1-hour private coaching session with me. This is a $400 value. So those one-on-one coaching sessions with me are $400, unless you are a current member of GWME. Okay, so here is what you will create in Boss Club. Your service sheet, which is what I call the written materials you send to prospective clients that explain who you are, why you do what you do, your qualifications, the services you offer, your pricing, and what their next steps are for working with you. I share examples from each year in my business. So there's like 7 or 8 of different service sheets I've had, and I give you templates on Canva so you can make yours beautiful and quickly fill it out yourself. Then you're going to create your budget, cash flow, and profit first spreadsheets, because again, we're about building wealth. So you'll learn what you have, what you can spend, and how you can pay yourself all your bills and still make a profit. And I show you how to track that weekly. And this is created by one of our guest experts who is a fractional CFO or chief financial officer, super smart. So it's not just me making this, she made this for you all. Okay, and then your marketing materials. So I share the basics on how to do social media, email lists, help you create your own social media page on the platform of your choice, give you the structure on how to do it, and give you templates that you can use. I also have templates for promotional emails so that you will be liked and loved and trusted, because that's who people are going to buy from. That's who people are going to work with. Then your client evaluation, onboarding materials. What I showed you earlier, I give you the templates for, so that you don't have to recreate all of that yourself. I also share my client onboarding materials and provide you with templates for those. So once you get them signed on, you know the exact next steps of what they need to do. Work processes and materials. Okay, when we get down to the billable work of being a grant writing boss, we also have you covered. I'm going to share my essential standard operating procedure docs that you can customize for your needs, file organization templates, everything you need to stay on top of your work. And then finally, your own boss manifesto, because we do have a week that is all about you and your well-being and your mindset. So this is your own personal private statement on who you are, why you do what you do, how you will take care of yourself, and what you hope to grow through your business. This is for your eyes only. It's going to help you remember your why when you most need to be reminded, okay? You will also have a toolbox of strategies for navigating the personal challenges of entrepreneurship. And a Grant Writing Boss Club membership goes so beyond this course content that I've gone over right now. So our monthly support meetings, Slack community, and office hours genuinely make this the most supportive, interactive, and accessible grant writing consultant community you will find. I already see you all in here right now supporting each other, and that by sharing your emails, and I want you to know that only gets bigger and continues in Boss Club. And Cheryl, thank you so much. She said, I've done GWME and Boss Club. It is great. I appreciate it. Now, here's what sets us apart. In addition to all of that amazing content and education and community support, here's what I want you to know. This club is not about bro marketing, and it's not one size fits all recommendations. We teach you how to think critically. We have guest experts. You're not just going to hear from me, so that you can have the best education you can get. You're not just getting my expertise and perspectives, you're getting access to a bunch of professionals. What else makes it different? It's taught by a trained educator. And yes, I think that makes a huge difference. And our coaches are educators as well. Being a successful expert doesn't also make you a great teacher. Let me say that one more time. Being a successful expert, a consultant, doesn't also make you a great teacher. I have a PhD in teaching rhetoric and writing. I taught university writing for over 6 years. I know about curricular design and pedagogy so that you can get the best education possible. Also, the club is results oriented. So I'm here to help you succeed. So make that money, keep clients happy, be successful in whatever your definition of success is. I'm not just here to teach you information and then leave you alone to implement it. We are taking action and making it happen and during every training and during office hours. Also, something that's super important to me, this club is a pleasure to be a part of. And I am a big proponent of making a pleasurable business. It should not be drudgery to go into your office every day and do the work you have decided to do. If it is, why are you doing it, right? So from the content to the design to the personalities you'll encounter here, this experience will be pleasurable, guaranteed. And thank you, Justy. You said absolutely the most supportive, up-to-date, and informative group I've ever been associated with. Well worth it. That warms my heart. Thank you so much. We are also student-centric, anti-racist, and feminist. This means we put our students' needs at the center of everything we do, from how we listen, how we respond, how we design our community, how we convey information in trainings, and how our materials serve you. We acknowledge privilege, design our materials to address systemic inequality, and hire diverse trainers and coaches to serve our members. So the total value of all of this of Grant Writing Boss Club 2023 is $20,000. And we offer equity pricing. So we're going back to what I just mentioned. This is important to us that we acknowledge privilege. So we have 3 levels and 2 different payment options for each. We have supporter, ally, and BIPOC. So let me explain what those are. And you can see the pricing there. Supporters $3,500, allies $3,000, BIPOC is $2,500. And then we have payment options for each of those as well. And all 3 payments must be completed if you choose the payment option. Thank you, Myra. Myra's in Boss Club. She said Boss Club is awesome. It's a cohesive program and very supportive. See, I literally couldn't pay you all to come and say nicer stuff. Like, I so appreciate Boss Club members coming to this training and sharing this. It means so much to me. Thank you all. So here's how you know where you fall on this equity pricing scale. Supporter means I have earning power due to my racial privilege, class background, level of education, gender identity, age, ability. Even if you're not currently exercising your earning power, we ask you to recognize this privilege. You easily meet all of your basic needs: food, water, shelter, clothing, etc. I make all mortgage, rent, utilities payments with relative ease. You have investments, savings, or inherited money. You have access to family money or resources in times of need or emergency. You have expendable income often, and you take trips or vacations without financial burden. Alicia, yes, we will accept payment from tribes or whatever organization wants to support you. Ally means I have earning power due to my racial privilege, all of the same things. I comfortably meet most of my basic needs, but do not have any savings. I have housing stability. I have some debt, but still meet my primary needs. And I sometimes have expendable income. So this is where, you know, you're an ally, you do have earning power, but you're not quite able to exercise it as much as supporter is. You don't have a ton of expendable income. And then BIPOC is just based on race and ethnicity. So I'm Black or Indigenous person or a person of color, regardless of your current financial situation. Okay, this category relies upon self-identification. I'm not going to ask for proof of anything. I trust you all to be honest with this and know that those supporters and allies are helping to fund the BIPOC category so that we can make this possible and spread out our privilege, okay? I do want to acknowledge all of the categories and language here are adapted from Rachel Ricketts' fee philosophy and also from Ride Free Fearless Money, right? So I had to find models for this. And so this is where I look to. Okay, so equity pricing, I'm happy to take questions here. Or if you still have questions after this is over about where you fall, you can email me at support@grantwritingmadeeasy.com. Someone asked if Boss Club is going to be around next year. I don't know, probably. Depends on where things take me, but do know the price goes up every year, not just due to inflation, but because the value increases every year. We're always adding things and doing more and being better. And in order to do that, we have to increase the price. Current grant writing made easy students, thank you for asking. Julie sent me a personal message. Yes, we are going to have a discount. I will send you that discount code after this session is over so that you can still get your bonuses if you want it. Yes, Adriana said the pricing is for the 10 months program. The pricing is for, some of it's 10, it ends up being a full year actually. So 2 months of training and then 10 months of support after that. So it's a full 1 year program. So it's one payment or 3 payments, depending upon which category you're falling within. And the payments are every 30 days until they're complete. So 3 payments of $1,375 or $1,175 or $1,000. Okay, I'm going to be sending that discount code out. If you don't get it from me for some reason, if your email is not on that list for whatever reason, email us and I'll give it to you directly. Now, some of you might want to know, is Boss Club a tax deductible business expense? Yes. Okay. This is direct from the IRS. I'm very familiar with this because I take multiple courses and I'm in multiple memberships per year. But here's the exact quote. You can deduct the cost of your own education related to your trade or business if it maintains or improves the skills required. Awesome. Returning Boss Club discount. I sent out emails about that at the end of last year. I sent out another one last night. I will send out another one today. So returning Boss Club members, yes, I do have a special discount for you all. And for those of you who are asking, yes, you can get more info. I will be following up today with an email with the recording, the link again. And Julie, do you mind popping the link in the chat again? So if someone is just coming in or they can't find it. Yep, she popped it in there. Oh, that's the course login. Can you give the course sign up page? That's okay. Okay, so I want to do some real talk with you all because I know that this expense may seem, like a big investment for a lot of people. I totally get that. And the reason is because it should be, because you are investing not just in your business, but in yourself. The things that you will learn here, you can carry with you through no matter what you do in the future. And it comes from 8+ years of me learning and taking a dozen different expensive courses, everything from, cheap courses to very expensive. Like I'm in one membership that's $2,000 a month right now. And you're getting the benefit of what I'm learning in that, okay? So what would it be worth to you to save dozens, if not hundreds of hours of trying to figure out everything on your own, learning through costly trial and error? What would it be worth? What would it be worth to feel more confident that you're taking the right steps to establishing your business, working with clients, writing successful grants, and building a profitable, equitable business? What would it be worth to have access to training you can do on your own schedule, but also have 8 live workshops and 8 office hour sessions, and then monthly support meetings to get the feedback and interaction you need? What would it be worth to improve your skills and experience as a grant writing consultant and increase the amount and number of awards you obtain for your clients? We haven't even touched on that, like not at all. We're going to, and I'm so excited because I have something totally new that no one else in the market is teaching right now on how to do this. And I might give you a hint about what it is here at the end. Okay, and I'm going to address a couple questions in here. Felicia asks, how long did it take you to get your first client after this program or during the program? If we have any Boss Club members in here who want to respond to that, that would be so appreciated. Mary Alexander said a little bit about her experience. And so thank you for that, Mary. Priscilla said, how long is this available for? So today is the only day you can get the 1-hour coaching and the merch when you sign up today, but we are open for enrollment through the 31st of January. I wanted to give you all a couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks, to get your money together, get finances together if you want to. Okay. So I've got a couple testimonials. I'll just leave it on here because reading it is a little bit awkward. But yeah, people do get new clients, usually within the first month or so. It depends on how proactive you want to be, right? Like how quickly you want to take action. Here's Patience. She said, you're not going to second guess anything you're doing. It's going to ease your mind. You give us the ability to be more confident and feel better as we're setting up our own businesses. Shelly, thank you for mentioning that. She said, does everyone know how to save the chat? Click on the 3 little dots at the bottom of where you would type your chat. There's 3 little dots by the smiley face. And then you can hit save chat and read it back. Okay, so the link right now is in the chat. I'm going to put it up here again for you all to join. And here is how to get in there right now. When you join now, once you click on that link, there's a join now button at the top. Click it to get that free 1-hour coaching bonus and Boss Club merch. And when you click the join now button, it'll take you down to the 3 options for supporter, ally, and BIPOC. You choose which one you want to do, and then it will take you to the sales page or the checkout page. You're going to enter your contact info, your billing info, your shipping info, because if you're joining today, again, you're getting that free merch and I need your shipping info. Then you're going to choose which of the payment options for your section, whether it's BIPOC, ally, or supporter. If you're in there and you're like, oh, I selected the wrong one, just go back to the main sales page and choose the other one. So again, we have 3 payment options, or the pay in full, which gives you a little bit of a discount when you pay in full. And also if you do the 3 payments, again, you're obligated to make all 3. Then you're going to place your order. You can also add on a discounted 1 hour of coaching with me at that point if you want to. And make sure you click the terms and conditions button that's just below the sign up button. Just saying you agree. If you're doing the payments, to make all the payments, you can read through it if you want to click on it and see what that info is. Once you finish signing up, you are in, and you're going to get your Grant Writing Boss Club next steps. You're going to get the login info to Grant Writing Boss Club so you can immediately get in there and check out our welcome module. Here's another quote from one of our Boss Club members, Kiani. She was so sweet. She said, I swear on everything that I love, you created something that was so incredible. You're giving so many people access to freedom, not even just financially or freedom from the 9-to-5 workspace you're giving, or workplace, you're giving people freedom in their lives. Okay, I know we've got a lot of questions. Let me just get to the end here. Okay, here's one that might be inspiring. So Dr. Amatola Akinsola with the funding magnet, she has her own business. She said, I'm going to make 2 times what I'm making in my job as a professor doing this consulting work. More people need to hear that and see that it is possible, okay? So I really want you all to hear that. She's making 2 times what she was making as a professor, okay? And here's one from Kathleen. I think Kathleen was in here for a minute. She is doing not just grant writing, she is doing academic research writing for academics. So she took what we're teaching with grant writing consulting and applied it to more than just that, okay? All right, so I'm going to take a moment to announce the winner here. I've got to quickly go through and find my winner for the merch here. Thank you all so much to those of you who shared. Sometimes it's hard to find these. Oh, here we go. All right, Shea Butta, 74. Let me see if it has your full name on here. Shea Salter, are you still here? Shea Salter, let me know if you're here in the chat so I can send you your free Grant Writing Boss mug. Oh, awesome. Okay. So Shea or Lakila, Can you put your email in the chat for me so that I can email you? Okay, so let me go back through the chat. I have a lot of questions here. Do you have a contact number for a personal question? You can email me and I personally will respond to you. support@grantwritingmadeeasy.com. That is the email that you will need to use for any questions that you have. And someone said, who has done this? Can you put your info here? Justy or Justina, she put her email in the chat. Thank you, Justy. I'm going to put it here again. I don't want you to be flooded with people, but if you all want to contact her and ask her, she also has a really good video on the sales page that we have linked. Could you pop that link back on, Julie, real quick? She has a really good video you can watch to get her testimonial if you want to hear from her. Okay. We're going to keep doing Q&A. Randy said the website won't let you sign up. Do you mean for Boss Club or do you mean for logging into the course? If you have emailed us, we have probably responded. So we always respond to all of our support emails. Again, if you don't see that response, check your spam. Melita, yes, I'm going to send you a discount code right after this. What other questions do you have? Don said, this is a weird question. Could orgs find a grant to cover GWME Boss Club cost for an employee? Absolutely. Okay, thank you, Shelly. Shelly has given us tech support and I'm here for it. I appreciate it. Okay, other questions? Ed said, sounds like going to a business training opportunity that will definitely improve the income of each of us after following a proven concept developed by someone who has pioneered what a lot of us have needed. Oh, thank you, Ed. Don, can I also get the BIPOC discount link? Already signed up for GWME. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to give you a discount link that you can, I'll give you a discount code that you can use for any of those. Okay. Althea, I'm sending it to Grant Writing Made Easy members. When you click on that main link to join the course that Julie shared, that'll take you to the supporter ally BIPOC options. Yeah, I'm not sending it in the chat because that discount link is, or the discount code is just for Grant Writing Made Easy members. All right, any other questions? I'm going to be saving the chat so I make sure I get each of you in here. Each of your emails if you need help. Thank you so much, Felicia, and I appreciate all of you so much for being here, taking this time out. Whether you join Boss Club or not, I want this training to give you some valuable takeaways that you can immediately implement and start getting paid as soon as possible. You know, because of all of the economic stuff that I mentioned earlier, I know that it's needed. Althea said you have to join first. I'm not sure what you mean there. You have to join first. If you're a Grant Writing Made Easy member already, I'm going to send you a discount code after this training that you can use. Okay, so wait on that discount code before joining. If you're already a GWME member, you're so welcome, Patricia. Awesome. You're so welcome. I just want to end this saying just a little bit of inspiration. I'm here to make this process something you can achieve with the least amount of stress and self-doubt, questioning. I want to set you up for success from day one. That's why I created this. This used to be a paid 2-hour training that I did once a year. It has turned into this full-blown year-long membership because I've seen how much people need this support. And I love doing it. Okay. And I want to help you avoid the ups and downs and some of the things I've experienced that are really, really hard. And I'm telling you my mistakes from day one so you can avoid them and set yourself up for sustainability and scalability. This year, I actually changed the last week of training from how to create a digital product to sell. And you can still view that old training in the past cohorts recordings, but I've changed it to how to grow your team because I'm actively growing my team. I have a full-time grant writer on my team so that I don't do much grant writing. She does the grant writing and I do all of the business side of things, the admin and the marketing, all of that. And we're growing our team this year. And last year I told Boss Club, I'm going to give you like the inner workings of hiring my first grant writer. And now I'm giving you the inside scoop on scaling even more and hiring more full-time people and being able to do it with equity in mind. So paying more than a living wage, giving good benefits, giving good time off, doing a 4-day work week. You want to know how you can have a 4-day work week and your own business? That's what we're teaching you how to do. Oh, Dawn, thank you. I love it. And Patricia, I love it. I appreciate the affirmation. Okay, any other thoughts or questions about this? Okay, so again, you have until January 31st, but today is the last day to get the free merch, the t-shirt, and to also get that 1-hour coaching session with me, which is a $400 value. So I hope you will think about it, process it, review the information today and make a decision today if you're able. If you're not able to do that, you still have until the 31st, and then we'll hit the ground running in February. Okay? Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Althea. Oh, so exciting. Yes, and you said join your writing team. I have hired 2 people from Boss Club as contractors to work with me. So just know it's possible for this also to lead to work as well. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the day, rest of your week. And I am so excited for everybody in here to see how you're going to grow in 2023. I appreciate you. You're amazing. Bye.